homegrown alligator. See you later. Gonna hit the road. Gonna hit the road. Something's changing here. Architecture unfamiliar to this. Time flies by in yellow and green. Stick around and you see what I mean. The mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know what I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone. Whoa. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone. Whoa. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. This is JP. Tuesday Tunes. We're south of the equator, navigator. Gonna hit the road, gonna hit the road. Something's changing, atmosphere, architecture, unfamiliar. Get used to this. Time flies by in yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. It's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know what I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone. Whoa. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone. Whoa. Two in the front, two in the back, sailing along, and we don't look back, 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 back. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone. Whoa. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone. Whoa. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone. Whoa. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone, someone, someone. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. This is Tuesday Tunes. This is JP. Hi. How are we doing? So 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, we do Tuesday Tunes. And I've got a couple of things to tell you today. So first of all, the obvious one. Oh, I just noticed Australian Ray saying it was really laggy, but then it's coming good. I hope it's okay. And have a great show. I'll catch the reply. The replay. Taxiing the teenager around. Hello, teenager. But I've got a couple of things to show you and a couple of things to talk about. So first and foremost is this. He says, there we go. This live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends at DistroKid. So DistroKid is a music distribution company. If you want to put your songs out, you can basically put them out to Spotify and Apple Music and all those different places. Then DistroKid can actually do that for you. And they charge you one price per year, which starts at $22.99. However, we have actually got a code, which is this one right here. And what this does is it gives you 7% off your first annual membership with DistroKid. So I'm just going to take that off because I'm covering my own face. There we go. What if I do that? That's better, isn't it? So if you scan the QR code, it's just gone into the chat as well. That'll give you 7% off, and you can actually upload as much music you want for an entire year. So it is the 1st of August, so you can go right up to end of July of next year. Think of all the Christmas tunes you could make. Think of all the summer songs you could make. How much do you spend on coffee in a month? Well, $21.38 in dollars isn't that much. There's also a couple of different plans. I'm on the Musicians Plus plan, and what that does is it basically gives you sorry, I'm just changing something on my iPad. It basically gives you sort of 2 different outfits, but more importantly, you can schedule the date of the release, which is really, really cool. So I just want to thank DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream, but we're not done there. A very good friend of mine, a very good YouTube friend of mine, a very good looper, is actually doing a live looping masterclass, and it's actually David Shannon. And David Shannon is doing a live masterclass for looping. So if you're into looping or you're thinking about getting into looping, obviously I do courses as well, but David is actually doing a course, and I want to give him a massive shout out. So his masterclass, it's a one-off live stream, and even if you pay for it and can't be on the live stream, you can watch the replay, and then you can do that as well. It is $67. Again, that QR code is there, and that has also gone in the chat as well. So give that a scan for David. David's working really, really hard doing these loop masterclasses, which is cool. And I just want to give him a big shout out. So there we go. There's his masterclass. So that's gone into the chat, and so has DistroKid as well. Lots of things to tell you today. There you go. Hence the DistroKid T-shirt. We've gone back in time. No, we've gone back to the floor-based loop of the RC600. We've done quite a few live Tuesday tunes where I've done what we call looping my brain, where looping my brain is just not planned at all. It's completely unscripted, and then what it means is that I can just loop stuff and you guys put stuff in the chat. What this means now is I live 2 suburbs from John Paul Young. Do you really? That's really good. I quite like that. Well, I think it's a couple of more suburbs from John Paul Music UK. But what we're going to do this time is basically just break down a couple of songs. That's what Tuesday Tunes is all about. It's to help you, well, to show you how I do it. You don't have to do it how I do it, but you can take it with a pinch of salt. So I'm going to change this over so we are like that. So there we go. Doing this all with my mouse here. There we go. While standing away from my computer and looking very sheepish whilst doing it. So, to give people a breakdown who have never seen my loop setup before, hang on. This big red box at the top, this is the RC600, the Boss Loop Station. It gives you 6 tracks of looping. I just used 3 in the last song, which was Shotgun by George Ezra. And the box at the bottom here, this big black one here, I'm pointing with my foot, that is the TC Helicon Voice Live Play Acoustic. These green lights, I've done a video about them. In fact, I've done a video about everything on this board. Those are how I connect my guitar. My guitar is actually, I don't know if you can see that there, very, very small picture in the corner. There's a connection here. It's a live, like wireless connection. So I've got 2 of them because we've got 2 guitars. They go into the TC Helicon along with this microphone. I'm testing at the moment a brand new, but I'm testing, for me it's new. Just go and grab the mouse again, there we go. Need like a producer or something. You'll notice that this, if I move out the way, if I go this way, it's wireless. It's my normal microphone, but I'm using a little wireless system, and I'm just testing out to see what it's like. So let me know what it sounds like, if it sounds too harsh, or if it sounds okay, if it's cutting out. And that's a nice little thing that's going into the TC Helicon. And then these 2 pedals at the bottom here, this is the volume of the loops, and this is me just to go up and down some memories. So let's break down the first song that we did. We did George Ezra's Shotgun. If you've seen me do this before, you'll know what we're talking about. So first of all, we need to put a rhythm down. So basically making a kind of rhythm sound, and you'll get this. Now, I sort of beatbox the sounds, and also I sing my basses, so that's something a little bit different. Oh, it's sounding good, says Australia, right? That's good. I'm quite happy about that. Anyone else in the chat, let me know, and also say hi as well. It'd be great to chat, hence the chat. So that's the beatboxy bit. Now, what you may notice is obviously if you go, that doesn't sound okay. That sounds okay. Well, up to you really. But what I do is a little bit of a trick. So the little trick I do is I use the harmonies on the TC Helicon, which is but when you beatbox with it, instead of going boots and cats, it's 3 people beatboxing at the same time. Just gives it a bit more depth, a bit more of a thicker sound. And then over the top. And there's our beat. Now, nice and simply, let's just go back to, let's just swap around. Nice and simply, I need a button, don't I? The guitar's in normal tuning, we've got capo on, and this basically is 4 chords all the way through. So we start on with the capo on in the G, then C, E minor, and then D. And it's just that all the way around. Nice and simple. So for the second loop, here's a little bit of the drums there because my speaker is behind me, just so I can hear myself. So it wouldn't normally be there. Sorry, I take the plaque out of my mouth. It wouldn't normally be there. It'd be obviously front of house, but it's just there so I can hear it. But it's bleeding a little bit into the microphone, but not too much. So this second loop, which is the one in the middle playing now, obviously it's those chords. But what I do is I kind of just play it sort of with my palms sort of rested. And then when we add that in, obviously with the beat, and those are muted, and then if I play over the top, it doesn't sound like I'm playing exactly the same thing. Homegrown alligator, see you later. Gonna hit the road. Gonna hit the road. Okay, so we've got that, and that's pretty much it. And then when the harmonies come in, when the chorus comes in, I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun. Is obviously just the harmonies of the TC Helicon. So I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa. And there we go. And then we go into the second verse. Yes, I did get a lyric wrong, but hey ho, no one's perfect. And then when we go back into it, of course, loops 1 and 2 are rocking. And then the only other thing is the third one, which is line. I sing their basses, but I use the third loop, which is here. 2 ways I can do it. I have a bass sound on the TC Helicon, which is called Barry White. The alternative one I can do is I can actually use this one, and I've actually done a video all about how you can change the buttons on the RC600. So I can very quickly get a bass. I've just put up a video about bass sound both on the D600 and the RC505. It's the same sound, and it's the guitar to bass, and it's actually at I think it's mode 2. With the RC505, 100%. On this one, it's 7%. You can still hear 30% of my natural voice, just to give it a bit more of a humanistic sound. The alternative, and I can choose, is use the Barry White sound on the TC Helicon. So this is what that is, that's an octave down, whereas the guitar to bass obviously sounds a little bit deeper. I wouldn't use them together because that would be just crazy. But then once we've got our bass in, we do obviously the bridge. We've got 2 in the front, 2 in the back, sailing along, won't look back. So when we've got that in, we're playing that obviously. Got 2 in the front, 2 in the back, sailing along, and we don't look back, 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 back. And then at that point, we just hit go. I ran a shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like someone. Whoa. I ran a shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like one. Whoa. And there you go. So that is how I loop George Ezra's shotgun. How is everyone? How's the stream? Are we all okay? So this is a couple of different ways we can do basically. So someone just put hands down. Okay, cool. So a friend of mine showed me this, which was actually really funny, and this is their rendition, and I have completely robbed it. So hands off to Joe for this. If you want to go and follow Joe Bennett Music. If you see a guy breaking up a little bit, well, yeah, not really a lot I can do about that, I'm afraid. Hopefully it'll just sort itself out. So this one is, again, a nice, quick, easy one to do. Do you know what it is yet? So this is D, normal tuning, normal thing, no capo. Hang on one sec. There we go. Let's switch things around. Right then, so this next song, oh, hang on, I can't see the chat. I need a little table here, don't I? Right, okay, so. So this is D, C, and G, all the way. We mix in another song, and this is a bit of fun, to be honest. Just to warm the crowd up, just to get them smiling, just to get them chuckling them to themselves. So. Keep on turning, carry me home to see my kin. Sing songs about the Southland. I miss Alabama once again. You think it's a sin? Well, I heard Mr. Young sing about it. watered down. Well, I hope Neil Young will remember. Southern man don't need him around anyhow. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Now this is the story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there and tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air. Birmingham, they love the governor. Oh, indeed that we could do. Now what I get, it does not bother me. Does your conscience bother you? Now tell the truth. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spend most of my days. Been and out max and relaxing, all cool and shooting some people outside of school. Well, a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared. She said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." Muscle shows who've got the swampers. They've been known to pick a song or two, yes to do. That they get me out so much. They pick me up when I'm feeling blue. How about you? Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Whistle for a cab, and when it came near, the license plate was fresh and the dice in the mirror. If anything, I said this cab was rare, but I thought, nah, forget it. You're home to Bel Air. I pulled up to a house about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabby, "Yo, home, smell you later." Looked at my kingdom, I was finally there, sitting on my throne as the Prince of Bel Air. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Sweet home Alabama mixed with really, really easy. So I only literally the beat and then the really, really easy. So using the harmonies again, just to give a couple of different voices. We've got this. It's a real quick loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Now you could embellish on that. You could have a over the top. You could have a little bit of thing there. Or obviously, if you're not wanting to do things like beatboxing, you could always program up the RT600 to have a rhythm section, to have the rhythm section going for it as well. It depends. But then only loop is. And obviously that's D, C, and G all the way through. there, obviously. Hi. And it just seems to fit. Obviously, as I say, I don't take credit for this one. It was my friend, Joe Bennett. He's a musician as well in this local area. Go and obviously subscribe to him. He's on Facebook, he's on YouTube. And it's a good fun. It's a real good fun to do. So obviously with Sweet Home Alabama, mix it with rapping the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's just a bit of fun, really. That's all it is. So there we go. So that's how I do Sweet Home Alabama without having to play any solos, because obviously if I play guitar, and that's fine, I play chords, I'm not a soloist, then the rapping in between kind of gets away with that, like, you know, kind of going diddle, and I'm not going to actually go diddle-dee with my mouth. So it's just a little bit easier for me, that's why I do it. Right, okay, so we're doing that. This live stream is over at DistroKid, DistroKid Dome, and these guys, obviously we have a special link that's on the screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm about to put that link in the chat. So we have a QR which we are putting up now. There we go. So if you scan the chat as well, it's in the description box, it's on the screen. These guys are obviously music distributors. So if you don't know what that is, a music distributor is where you put your songs to them and they push it out to all the places. You can't just put your music out to Apple Music on your own or Spotify on your own. So these guys help you do that. And for the price of $22.99 a year, you can release as much music as you want to. Now, we've got that code, and that code actually gives you 7% off. I have an itchy shoulder. And you can obviously do that, no problem at all. So if you give them a click, give them a thanks, because they've sponsored this live stream. Thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring this live stream. And then we actually can do that. Now, that code is also that code that's up there in the corner next to my door. No problem, I say it's in chat. Just take this one thing off. There we go. And the other thing I'm highlighting today is David Shannon. Now, if you don't know who David Shannon is, then where have you been? We interviewed him on this series called How Do You Loop? And then we also did a Christmas thing a couple of while ago, asking for his Christmas thing. And what David does, he does looping as well. He has a wonderful YouTube channel all about guitaring and looping. And at the moment, what David is doing, he's doing a masterclass. He's doing a looping masterclass, and it is at the end of August. Now, that timing for me is midnight, but if in the US, it's around about between sort of like 5 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m., depending on where you are in the States. So it's a perfect time for that. In US dollars, it's $67, and then if you buy it and you can't watch it, for me, it's at midnight, so I'll be able to watch the replay, and that replay will be available to me. But if you watch it live, the great thing is you'll be able to ask questions as well. David is a fantastic teacher, so I'd highly recommend, if you're gapping or you're thinking about looping, thank you very much for watching my channel All About Late as well, but also have a look at David's. And me and David, obviously, I just wanted to promote his sort of masterclass course, which is amazing. So yeah, so give that obviously a click, a scan, whatever you're going to do, because obviously that's gone in the chat as well. If you're not familiar what here, I am holding my mouse on my guitar. Very, very cool. This is what we call Tuesday Tunes. So Tuesday Tunes, all about getting some tunes and actually in that way, just how I loop them, and it depends on what song. So I'm just going to change guitars, because we're going to go over to my other guitar, which is tuned in DADGAD, but I'll give you the chords anyway. And you're going to have to bear with me for 1 second. I apologize. I didn't freeze, but just bear with me 1 sec. 2. Hello. So apologies about that. Hopefully you can see me again. Okay, I hear you. JP, yes, you're back. Yes, I am back. So there we go. Apologies about that. And also, you may notice now, this microphone is wired. So that wireless thing, we'll have to do one. Oh yeah, I was going to change the guitar, wasn't I? I've just put the wrong guitar back on. Hang on. Normally stop live streams. So in the replay, it'll look really weird to you because I've just cut out a big set. Because I can do that and just block a big section of it. So let's recap, shall we? Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. My name is JP. Welcome to Tuesday Tunes. Now, it doesn't matter what tuning you got your guitar in, the volume is pretty low. How's that? Is that any better? 2, 2, 2. Hello, hello, hello. Now, it doesn't matter what tuning you've got in. This is obviously just tuning for me, and this is just something that helps me. Audio 222. Well, it is pretty low, isn't it? Oh, we're having fun today. Let's just put it there. How's that? A bit better on the vocals. Guitar level sounds okay. There we go. Cool. Oh, so it's the vocals that are low. That sounds okay. It's screaming loud. Right then, so yeah, this okay, it's 2:40. So what I'll do, I think I'll watch the replay, JP. No worries. Of course, if you've got any questions regarding looping or what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, then please let me know. Just move the looper a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do a song that I do in Dadgad because it's pretty much a lot of fun. And this is a Megan Trainor song, but obviously I changed the lyrics a little bit. So this is all about that bass, but it's now called All About Cupcakes. Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. All about that bass, no trouble. I also like cupcakes, eat pancakes, no trouble. All about that bass, yeah. It's pretty clear. I can shake it like I'm supposed to do. All the right junk and all see those magazines, working at Photoshop. We know that stuff ain't real. Come on now, make it stop. You got that beauty, raise your hands up, 'cause every inch of me ain't perfect, from the bottom to the top. My girlfriend, she told me, worry about the size. She likes a guy who is chunky to hold at night. No, I won't that's what you're into. Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. All about that bass, no trouble. I also like cupcakes, eat pancakes, no trouble. All about that bass, Money back. Now let's just shoot, but telling which is that. Now I'm playing, I know I think I'm bad. That's 'cause I am, 'cause every inch of me ain't perfect, from the bottom to the top. But my girlfriend, she told me, don't worry about the size. She likes a guy who is chunky to hold at night. No, I won't be no stick figure silicone Barbie again. So if that's what you're into, then go ahead and join the gym. Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. All about that bass, no trouble. I also like cupcakes, eat pancakes, no trouble. All about that bass, Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. All about that bass, no trouble. I also like cupcakes, eat pancakes, no trouble. All about that bass, Right then, so let me know how the stream is going, because I believe it's a little bit very broken. And if it is, we might have to stop it and start again, and that's the case. But please let me know in the chat. It'd be very, very useful. because I don't want people to go, oh, it looks rubbish, and then leave. I'd like it to be nice. So please let me know in the chat if it sounds okay, if it looks okay, if it's broken like crazy, then let me know. Because I think Australian Ray's left. Anyway, that was all about that bass, but I've changed the lyrics to all about cupcakes. And this is really, really easy again. I play a lot of stuff that obviously takes minimal effort on the guitar, so you can carry on and just enjoy. So this is in D, obviously Dad-Gad. Now that's E, but it's like a sort of E sus minor, I think. Then we go to A, and then back to D. And again, we're only using 2 loops here in this one, which is quite nice and simple. So we just need a beat. So we start with. So we go 1, 2, 3, Okay. So then when we do that and we add our boots and cats in, you get this. Nice and simple, really repetitive. And then the next part is actually the chords, which takes the longest amount of time for this one. Now, it's totally up to you how you want to do it. You could actually do it where you start playing the D, then the E, and the A, because you know I'm. Now that's before the loop ends. That's actually sort of like beat 3 and 4 of bar 4. So it's because you know I'm all about that bass, So it actually kicks on all. So if you had the microphone set up in a different way, maybe this isn't looping, but it's looping the guitar, you could do that with the RC600. So you could tell around and say, well, on this track, right here, on track 2, only record the guitar, but don't record the vocals. And that's really handy to do. It could speed things up for you. However, I also use the vocals for the bass line. So we actually record an entire circle of that. And then we record an entire circle of the bass line. So that's what takes up the most amount of time. Now, you could put the bass line in later on, but it's all about that bass. So you kind of want to get it in like quick. The alternative to do is just put the bass in. So we just go dun, 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 dun. And then that's it, it's in. But obviously playing the guitar with it, it means that basically you could play it over the top and it actually will reduce down by 1 revolution, by 1 loop. But we have. And also it keeps you in time as well. You could play it and sing it together if you wanted to as well. And that is pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Now, the only thing you saw me doing was actually playing with this pedal right here, which is the volume pedal. Now, this volume pedal is assigned to the volume of the loops only. So it's not assigned to the microphone or the guitar. And that's really handy because as you're playing something, we can actually cut things out or we can fade as well. So if I now. You know I'm all about that bass, about that no trouble. All about that bass, about that bass, no trouble. I also like cupcakes, eat pancakes, no trouble. All about that bass, about that bass. It's just an alternative option because what it means is you can bring it down and bring it up again. You don't have to stop the loop from scratch. And also if you want to sort of have a gap in between and you still want it to, you don't want to start and bar 1, beat 1. This is really handy, and it's one of those things I use quite a lot in different songs, and it's just one of those things which you can obviously adjust accordingly. The other reason for that as well is fades, or if you're actually going into a venue and it's like, oh my goodness, this is screaming high, of course I can turn the main volume down there, or we can actually adjust it accordingly depending on what song you're doing. So this is a little Vespress, it's called, by Sonic Ache. I do have links to that in the on YouTube. There's actually a video all about this pedal board and how I use it and what it's on it. So yeah, so just wanted to show you that real quickly. But this is just a little bit of a fun tune, obviously changing the lyrics from a male perspective. Playing it in DADGAD as well gives it a nice little drone. It depends on what you want, but obviously that's how I do it. Now then, hopefully you can still hear me with this, and if you can, great. I'm just actually doing two things. First of all, this live stream is sponsored by our friend at DistroKid. That's the QR code there. The big one, the other one I want to talk about is actually David Shannon. Now, David Shannon has a YouTube channel himself, amazing guy, amazing loop artist, and he David Shannon's Loop Mass, and there's a QR code there. It's also gone in the description and the chat as well, and it's live. It's going to be a live masterclass about looping. So David and I have been chatting away, and I said I'd quite happily promote it for him. We're all trying to obviously, make our way in the world. So with David's course, the great thing is if you buy it and then you miss the live one, then you can watch the replay and all the conversations that go on in that masterclass. But the other thing as well is it means if you're live there, you get to watch it live in that moment. Now it's on at 11 o'clock in New Zealand. So it's about midnight here, so in the UK. So obviously wind that back. If you're in the US, it's around about between 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, depending on what state you're in. And it's at the end of August. It gives you plenty of time to actually gather and get together. So if you're thinking about looping, or if you're already starting looping and you're thinking, I just need a little bit of mastery, David Shannon is there for you. Of course, I'm there for you as well. I do obviously lots of courses, but this is a fantastic one. I wanted to promote this one because it is going to be live. It's a live thing, as opposed to obviously buying a course and keeping it forever. But it's just a fantastic thing. So if you're interested, obviously you've got an entire month to go and have a look at that. The other thing as well, of course, is that this live stream is sponsored, and it's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid, who are a music distribution company, and they have a QR code as well. So if you are looking to release music this year or right up till July of 2024, click that, click the link, scan the QR code. That's in the description box as well. And that'll give you 7% off your first annual membership, and that means you can release as much music as you want, basically just under £22, sorry. So yeah, so they have sponsored this live stream. I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers. Right then, so if you are watching and you are able to type, please let me know how the live stream is going, because I'm getting fluctuating information. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's a bit too quiet, sometimes it's fine, and sometimes it's not. So please let me know, and then what we'll adjust it. How about that? Right, I'm going to switch guitars again. Now I get asked this question, why do you have two guitars? The simple reason is that I like playing in DADGAD from some of my own music, which is designed that way, and I play a couple of covers in DADGAD as well, and it just has this real nice sort of droney Celtic reason. And the other thing as well is I used to only carry one guitar, which was red. I used to carry red around all the time, and I used to change the tuning halfway through the set. Back, it's a waste of time changing it all the time, because how quick was that? And the other thing as well was that you would break a lot of strings, and I mean a lot. So I used to break strings all the time because we were just basically changing all the time. So that's why I carry two guitars. They the story. Also explains what this tiny little pedal is down here in the bottom left-hand corner. It's a switcher. So these two green things, they're my sort of wireless transmitters for the guitar. And then I switch between green and red, hence sort of green, lime-ish green, and red. So it works quite well. The only thing is obviously size of guitar. If I had like an amazing travel guitar, then we could do that as well. Right. So this is a song by Genesis, and I play this a lot. Mainly because, again, it's a lot of fun. If you do have any questions regarding looping, obviously let me know in the chat, and let me know how the chat's going as well. Let me know how the live stream is. Let me know how it looks. just walking around. Hot sun making me sweat. Gators getting close, hasn't got me yet. I can dance, I can talk. Only thing about me is the way that I walk. I can dance, I can sing. I'm just standing here selling everything. Sitting on the beach, her dog is talking to me, but she's out of reach. She's got a body under that shirt, and all she wants to do is rub my face in the dirt. I can dance, I can talk. Only thing about me is the way that I walk. I can dance, I can sing. I'm just standing here selling, checking everything is in place. You never know who's looking on. Young punk spilling beer on my shoes. I heard me try me on my blues. See you smile. Never thought so much happened. Shoot and pull. I can talk. All about me is the way that I walk. I can dance. I can sing. I'm just standing here. And everything is in place. Never know who's looking on. The perfect body and the perfect face. About me is the way I walk. I can dance, I can sing. I'm just standing here selling. Oh, I can dance, I can talk. The only thing about me is the way that I walk. I can dance, I can sing. I'm just standing here selling everything. Cheers. So that is I Can't Dance Genesis, and I'm going to step now through how I did it. So this is Tuesday Tunes with JP. So just to show you how this works, what we do is we play a song, and I play from my repertoire, and then what we do is we break it down and show you all the loops that I did and what I used. So you can see on let me get this right. That side is my what's on the floor down here. That is my RC600 loop station pedal board with everything on it. I hope there was a little bit of delay, a couple of connection issues, but I hope we're all right now. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you what this is. So first of all, it's nice and simple apart from the breakdown. So it's on capo number 3. It's in E, so this is E. Lifting the two fingers there, they're basically your third and fourth finger. So there we go. And then go in D, and then like an A suck. That's the chords. And that's the majority of the song, apart from the breakdown, which we'll get into in a minute. So, of course, we need a beat first. One, two, three, four. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. So 2-bar loop. Now, of course, I do sort of like beatboxing as well as kind of like putting a rhythm down like that. And then the other part is literally just the chords and then the bass. So that is loop 1 done. Loop 2. I mute the chords with my wrist. And then sing the bass line. It depends how fast you want this, but you can actually have this sort of... You remember the video? Who remembers the video? Now there's a weird noise actually in the track, and if you listen to the CD, you got this. So I try and emulate it. Just sounds like some strange chicken. I know it sounds silly, but it's just a little bit of things to add into the chorus, and that's pretty much it, apart from obviously the breakdown. Now, we've got the TC Helicon doing the harmonies. I can dance, I can talk, only thing about me is the way that I walk. Okay, and then you've got the breakdown. So the breakdown is basically a sort of C to G chord, C chord. Excuse me. And checking everything is in place. You never A minor. Then G. Now the first time round it's just that. Everything is in place. You never knows I'm going on. We go back to that. Whereas the second time round, you go checking everything is in place. You never know who's looking on. You're going to C. Kind of a sus D, A minor. And then perfect body with a perfect face is G, and then F, but I kind of just go and put an F like with my thumb, so. Perfect body, the perfect face. You end on the D. And then we go back to, obviously not that fast. So then we've got obviously everything rocking at the end, and it's totally up to you how you bring this down, how you break it down. But obviously when everything's rocking, the two things I when we go to the breakdown is turn off loops, keep the beat going. On the very last chorus, I didn't have the loop going at all, just had me going, and I brought it all back in slowly. This breaks down the song, it just gives it a little bit more structure, but also keeps it interesting for the audience. So there we go, that's how I do I Can't Dance by Genesis. So just a quick one for you. This one obviously is a little bit of a strange live stream because we're having a little bit of connection problems, but also we were having some audio issues as well. So we're just going to take a about 2-minute interlude while I sort things out. You're going to see just the cover screen for about 2 minutes. Go and grab a cup of tea or something, and I'll be back in a minute. Hello. Hope you can hear me. Hope it looks a little bit better. Right. So, the big question is, where did I put my plectrum? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. My name is JP. Welcome to Tuesday Tunes with JP, number 12. Now, for the last couple of Tuesday Tunes, we've also done Looping My Brain, where we've used the 505 with no rehearsal, no nothing, and you just shout things in the chat. This time, we're going back to our roots with the Boss RC600, the guitar, and our covers. And this is actually Tuesday Tunes. It's all about how I loop stuff. So let me know, obviously, if you can hear me properly. So obviously here we've got the RC600 loop station. Let me just switch this round. You don't have to look at me. You can look at the loop station. There we go. And we've got the TC Helicon Voice Live Play acoustic. I'm speaking very fast there as well. And then what we're going to do is, let's just switch these around. There we go. The whole idea, as I say, is to show you how I play stuff. You can take from this what you will. And this is the exact rig I have when I go gigging. Yes, I've used the 505 in here, and I've done like an open mic night with the 505. It's just a little bit of different thing. Just vocals. I've done it with vocals and guitar. We've just done it just with vocals. But this is my sort of true rig, as it were. This is what I kind of gig with. So we're now back on Red, which is the red guitar. I call my guitar Red and Lime, or Lucky Lime as it's known. And this song is just real fun to play in DadGad, but if you're just playing it in normal tuning, that's fine as well. You can have a lot of fun with this with looping. It's a real simple loop as well, so it means you can get the crowd going. I'll let you figure out what it is. Writings on the wall. There is superstition that is about to fall. 15-month-old baby, no Cadillac in glass. 7 years of bad luck. Good things in your past. Even things that you don't understand, then you suffer, yeah. Superstition ain't the way. Superstition ain't the way. There is superstition. No facing hands. Rid me of the problem. Doing understand. And a daydream. Keep me going strong. You don't wanna save me. Sad is my song. Even things that you don't understand, then you suffer. superstition. Nothing more to say. Very superstitious. Devil's on his way. 15-month-old baby. 7 years of feather. Good things in your past. Even things that you don't understand. Then you suffer, yeah. Superstition ain't the way. Superstition ain't the way. Superstition ain't the way, yeah. Superstition ain't the way. Cool, so this is Superstition by Stevie Wonder. Oh, a bit warm. And this is a real fun loop to do. What we do now is on Tuesday Tunes, I play a song and then I break down how I've looped it with the looper. And we use 3 tracks out of the 6 that are available on the RC600. So if you've got an RC300, this still works as well. And this is real fun, and it's just a bit of fun. So we start with a really sort of catchy beat. If you have a look at the circle going around the outside, it's literally a 1-bar circle. So we start with, that's it, and we go boom, and then we can add that in. So we'll end up with this. And then it's exactly the same sort of length with this one. Well, it's a 2-bar loop. Cool. So this is in Dadgad, this guitar, so this is D. Sounds really nice like that. So we end up with this. Just play the chords, I'm just stabbing them so no. So when we add this drums in, just gives the drums a little bit of room to breathe. And of course I'm just repeating the same thing on the bass. And my bass is, for this one, the Barry White one on the TC Helicon. That is literally it. Now, of course, if you don't have a TC Helicon, you have got an RC600, you can use the other bass. I use the G to B one. So the alternative is this. Now, I've changed the button on this, and I've got a video all about that. So instead of being undo, redo, it's my bass. I've got a video all about that, and you can find it by looking for RC600 customization. And there we go. So there's our 2 tracks, and then we've got the bit that most people know, which is a... Now, I could have played that on the guitar. It's a bit fiddly, so the easiest thing to do is actually sing it, and then I use another voice, which is just a radio effect, which this one is actually, if you can see it there, I don't know if you can see it on the screen there, but it actually says Feel Good Gorillas. It's actually a preset that's just straight from the TC Helicon. I haven't really changed it at all. Dun, dun, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, ha, ha, ha. So it gives you a little bit of a radio effect. And then if I sing it sort of twice. So we end up with this. Now, of course, because it's a radio effect, it gives us a slightly different sound and a different range. So we've got the kick and the snare, we've got the hi-hats, we've got the guitar kind of, and then the bass. And that's at the other end of the spectrum. So when you play them all together, it sounds really full. Now, what you don't want is you don't want to be sort of going.
because you won't give it any space to the sound when you're playing around with it. Hi Piers, don't worry, we've had a fantastico technical disaster this afternoon. So don't worry that you're late. I've had to pause the live stream twice, and yeah, it's been fun. But no, it's cool. Hi, how are you? Hope you're well. Piers. In fact, I'm going to do this to everyone right now. As this is the first time I'm doing this with the live stream sort of restarted. So obviously this live stream is sponsored by our friends at DistroKid. I'll get to that in a second. That's that QR code up there, scan it. But I've got another QR code for you, and this is David Shannon's Loop Masterclass. It's $67. It's at the end of August and completely live. David's been working really hard to make this happen, and I just want to share with everyone basically David's website. So when you click on that link, you'll get this. It's 26 days, 10 hours, 23 minutes, and 57 seconds to the Looping Masterclass with David Shannon. And you've got loads of different stuff. So it gives you information of who this is for. If you're a loop artist or just getting into looping, or you feel like you want to take looping to the next level. And David is a fantastic teacher. So just a little bit of info there for David's website. I just wanted to show you that. There we go. So if you click the link that's gone in the chat, or you obviously scan the QR code, you'll get access to that. This live stream is also sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. So DistroKid are the sponsor for today's live stream, and they have a QR code as well. It's always been up there pretty much throughout the whole live stream, but let's make it bigger. There it is. And then obviously, if you distribute music or want to distribute music, they do it for $22.99 a year, but with the scanning of the QR code, that gives you 7% off your first annual membership with DistroKid. So thank you to them for sponsoring this live stream. Now, let's get back over to Superstition. So, ooh, love David's stuff, says Piers. Nice. Yes, David's great. He's awesome. We had a great chat, and we had some. If you haven't seen the interview with me and him on the podcast series called How Do You Loop, go watch it. It's really funny, but also has some brilliant advice for loop artists everywhere. So this track, Superstition, play this towards the end of my set, and the reason is because it's a bit rock. It's a bit sort of like funky, rocky. People want to get up and dance. So if you start hearing this, did press the button. Now when I actually do the song, I just take the last bit out for the first half of each verse. When you get to 13-month-old baby, the harmonies on. 13-month-old baby, broke down looking glass. 7 years of bad luck, good things in your past. Now, this is where my TC Helicon is very, very different in the sense of what I do for harmonies. So I've told you before that this actual setting I've got here, which is called high and low, it's not just a high and a low, it's also got an octave below. So if you listen very carefully, if I go la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, and the reason for that is actually not just this song, but a couple of different songs where I turn not the rhythm, I turn the melody of the loops off, and you're just left with the rhythm. So, because of that reason, what we do is, it's for this song. So, if you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer, yeah. Superstition ain't the way. So, we'll turn tracks 2 and 3 off, we'll leave track 1 on, and we'll leave the harmonies on, and that just flows us through. So I'm just going to go a little bit further back. So, 7 years of bad luck. Even things that you don't superstition ain't the way. And we start again. Now the thing is, it depends on what you want to do at that point. Harmony's on. It depends what you want to do at that point. You go, superstition ain't the way, and we kick it back in there. Now I turn everything back on. Superstition ain't the way. You've still got the bow, 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 bow noise. And then we get back to the next verse. There is superstition. Just gives a bit of space, and it just gives that nice sort of space sound around it. So that is superstition, and the only thing, as I say, is the breakdown, well, basically the chorus, really. When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't the way. So when you believe you don't understand, then you suffer, yeah. Because the other thing as well is I turn the harmonies, the whole looper off at that point. And you go, superstition ain't the way. Whereas if I use the volume pedal, I'd have to put the volume up and then turn the two other loops back on. So it depends on how you do it. So yeah, so it's all fun and games. Piers is saying something. Shame the TC Helicon needs a guitar or something to work out the harmonies from. I'd love something that can just get something from the melody line. The problem with that, I hear what you're saying, but the problem with that is if you want, it can't just take it from the melody line. It's kind of impossible because if you went, what chord is that? You know, you're not going to be able to do it. So it needs something solid like a root chord to be able to go. The alternative way you can do it is, of course, you can do it by MIDI. Not with this pedal, though. Sorry, just to clarify that. You can't do it by MIDI, though, with this pedal. There are pedals out there where you can plug in a keyboard and you could play the root notes. The alternative as well is if you get something like the Voice Live 3 Extreme, you can actually tell it to have like almost like a backing track switch on at this point of view. So the thing that obviously, all these TC Helicons are obviously a lot older pedals now compared to what's coming out now. But I stick with this because the harmonies are great and it works just really, really well. The Boss version is the VE500. And I actually haven't played with that. I actually haven't gone with it because I don't need to because I've got the TC Helicon. If Boss want to send me one, then if they're listening, I'll quite happily do a comparison because that one you can buy. The TC Helicons are very difficult to get hold of. So maybe I'll reach out to Boss and find out what they say. So yeah, that's how I do Superstition by Stevie Wonder. There we go. Now straight after that in my set, by the way, I do a 2-hour set. I don't have a break. I do, instead of doing 2 45 minutes, I do 2 straight hours, mainly because if you do 45 minutes and go, right, see you in 15 minutes, then it's not 15 minutes because people want to talk to you. And then also people leave. So I actually do 2 hours straight through without stopping, and that way the pubs are happy because they get an extra half an hour out of me technically. And then also people are happy because they stay because they drink more alcohol. But because I'm with Dadgad, as soon as Superstition is finished, I break into 2 songs that I merge together. And this is T-Rex 20th Century Boy, as well as Cigarettes and Alcohol by Oasis. And people don't realize that they go together quite well, and they do. So as we go, obviously with Superstition, you heard me go. Now, I can stop there and go, oh, applause, and that's it. Or I can just keep going. So I can go. Now, if I do that, I've got a problem, and I've done this before, and it worked, and done this before, and it failed. So I can either basically do that, and whilst I'm doing that, the FS7 pedal I've got down here in the bottom right-hand corner is literally for memory down and memory up. Now, that's the simplest and easiest way to erase a memory, is go down 1, and then go up 1, you see it flash, back on memory 1, and it's empty, there's no loops on there. So whilst I'm going... Now, I can either be basically like recording that, or I could play that for a little bit and people go, oh yeah, T-Rex, and I go. And start recording that. The problem is that if you don't have the timing right in your head, you'll mess it up. You'll either go too slow or too fast. And the other thing as well is then at what point do you start recording for the loop, or what do you hit the loop and build the loop up? But it depends on what you're doing. Piers, to answer your question regarding the lines, this pedal doesn't need programming. You just plug something in, and then you can actually do it. Are you saying that being an unaccompanied looper, the other thing you could do is you could actually send an out from the RC600 for maybe the vocal lines, maybe you've created harmonies or something, or you've created something, send that into the TC Helicon, but then you don't send the guitar, in inverted commas, send out. You just have the vocal. So therefore, it would pick it up. The other thing this has as well, doesn't work in every situation, this has a microphone built into it. So it actually has what's called room sense. So it can actually pick up the room. The problem with that, obviously, on stage is a nightmare, but also it works better in like a studio environment. But it can actually pick up the sound and go, okay, well, that chord's being played, so I'll harmonize to that, the natural play side. So yeah, just thought I'd like be aware of it. The alternative, as I say, is use one of the subs, send that out to the guitar in inverted commas, of the TC Helicon, and then just let that pick up the sound of the harmony. You could do it that way. There you go. Anyway, back to 20th Century Boy. So. See, right there, without thinking about it first, I've gone a little bit fast. So it depends on what you want to do. I just kind of went into it and went, right, okay, from one song to another, quick, da-da-da-da. And because you're excited and you've got adrenaline pumping through you, you may put that through really, really quickly. So I've done it before and it's really, really worked out. And people are going, yeah, and they've carried on dancing. And I've done it before and it's like, it's a bit too fast. So it depends on what you want to do. Obviously, practice makes perfect. Timing, getting that right. I've experimented with that. Having said all of that, though, the nice thing is that with this, it literally is just putting down a beat and then just kind of, and then with the harmonies. Friends say it's fine, friends say it's good. Everybody says it just like Robin Hood. And you can mix that with, is it my imagination? Something worth living for. So I'll play around with that. Now I'm not going to play the whole song because, of course, all it is just a beat that I use for the loop. I don't actually put anything else down at all. It's just a lot of an easier thing. To sleep, the song from the darkest hour, secrets I can keep inside of a day. Sing from out to deep extremes of the sweet and sour. I hope that God exists. I hope, I pray. you've been to some far out places, hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Something's bad again, and it's worse than it was before. And it had such riches I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down, sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. Sympathy. Down. Those who feel the breath of sadness, sit down next to me. Those who find that touch by madness, sit down next to me. Those who think themselves ridiculous, sit down next to me. In love, in fear, in hate, in hate, in love, in fear, in hate, in tears, in love, in fear, in hate, in tears, in love, in fear, in hate. Wow. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down next to me. Down, 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 down. Sympathy. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down, sit down next to me. Down, 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 down. Sympathy. There we go. So this one obviously is Sit Down by James. I play it in Dadgad, so it's D, G, and A. When we get to the chorus, I actually go up to the octave here, just hold that note to make sure it's an A major. There's an A without a major or minor in. Oh, sit down. It's nice. And this one I do a little bit differently than the others because I actually record the guitar chords first. So we're now going to break let's try that again. Now we're going to break this down. So this is Sit Down James. I play it in Dadgad. And then obviously the first thing is the chord. So it's D. And then G. And then A. Now if that sounds a little bit different, it's because this is in Dadgad. So it has a little bit of a D undertone. You've just got to get your timing right, and then we record that as the first point, which is this. I'll go around a couple of times. Do ring outs like that. Now the way I do this to get this going quickly is I start singing the first verse without putting a beat down yet. We put the first sort of 4 lines. And then we go, when you get to, I hope that God exists, I hope, I pray, then that's when I start putting a beat down. So, the beat's real quick, again, rhythmic. Because obviously if you hear the original, it's boom, ga, ga. Ga, ga, ga. It's a little bit of a swing, so it's not. Because the guitar's already playing, it actually helps me with the rhythm, ironically. So. go. And then the other one, of course, is the bass. And I took a little bit longer than I normally would today on the bass. But then it's just the notes sung in. And it's real simple. And then it's up to you how you take things in or out. So then I'll take the guitars out for verse 2 because then it sounds fuller when you bring them back for the chorus. And then, of course, for the actual, those who feel the breath of sadness, sit down next to me. You can just do that on its own. Feel the breath of sadness, sit down next to me. And it's a bit of a sort of cult song in the UK. The amount of people who actually then sit down on the dance floor is quite funny. And it's a great song to do. And then people just go obviously mad for it, which is really, really cool. The other thing you can do with the RC600, of course, is there is a rhythm section. If you find the right rhythm, there is one with a fill and it goes, which is quite good. It's quite a nice thing to do. I don't. I use, obviously, my own voice as the rhythm. Just depends on what you want to do. Right, so one last time. I'm just going to do a couple of things. So, this live stream is sponsored by our friends at DistroKid. DistroKid are a music distribution company. Now, their QR code has been there. Have I got that right? There. Pretty much the whole time. So if you scan it, or we can make it bigger. Let's make it bigger. That one. There we go. So if you scan the QR code, then you can basically get 7% off your first annual membership with DistroKid. Instead of charging you every time you release some music, DistroKid will actually charge you one price per year, and therefore you can release as much as you can. I've done that. I've released an entire live stream that we've done on like this, but obviously with the 505 Mark II. And I'm recording my latest single, which is called Whiskey Jar. I brought out a video today about it. If you can't see it, it's because it's for members only. And if you want to join my membership, you're more than welcome to on YouTube. Just click the word join, and there's a couple of tiers there for you. And that helps me out. But this also helps me out as well as helping you out. You get 7% off. And then obviously DistroKid are happy with me because I've helped them. And I use them to release my music. So my next single, Whiskey Jar, is going to be released using DistroKid as well. So thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. The other one that I want to highlight, which I've highlighted throughout this live stream, is my good looping friend, David Shannon. David has a loop masterclass, which basically at the moment is at the end of August. Now the timing on this, I think it says is 11 p.m. New Zealand time. Now if you work that out, it's midnight in the UK. It's about 7 or 8 or 9 p.m. depending on where you are in the US. Maybe earlier, maybe later. You'll have to work it out state by state. And $67. It's a live masterclass for those who are getting into looping, want to advance in looping. And me and David have been chatting, and then obviously we're trying to help each other pay the bills. So this is obviously our way of doing that. So scan the QR code if you're interested in that. Have a look at his website. So when you scan the QR code, you will see this, which is, let me just get onto it. There we go. Let me go back to the top, which is the Looping Masterclass with David Shannon in live looping part. Is live looping part of your show? Then get ready to lock in your timing, solve common issues, and create great mixes in the live workshop. So it's 26 days, 10 hours, exactly. Oh, 9:59, 9:58. I could go on. But that is, where are we? There we go. Oh, you can see me. Hi. So that is obviously David Shannon's Loop Masterclass. Scan the QR code. That QR code, the link has already gone in the chat as well. So have a look at that, and then you should be able to have a play with that as well. So thank you to David for the Loop Masterclass. So there we go. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Regarding the masterclass, the countdown page appears to have the right timing for whichever time zone you're going to visit from. That's quite good. Well, it's going to be the same time, isn't it? So surely that the countdown time is not going to change. It's the same time. It's going to be at the right time. That would make sense. So there we go. So yes, so David's Loop Masterclass, we're going to help promote that over August for him to help us all keep the lights on and help creators left, right, and center. So this has been obviously a live sort of like Tuesday Tunes with JP, where we take one of the songs that I play live and then we sort of like break it up. I just want to obviously thank everyone who's stuck around today. We've had a couple of technical problems. We've had to pause the live stream twice. That's not the normal. That's not what normally happens here. So thank you very much for sticking around for that. On the replay, what I'm going to do this afternoon is I will edit or try and edit out and cut out the bits where we had to pause, so it might look a little bit seamless. So if you're watching this in the replay, then thank you for sticking around. And we're going to end this here, so thank you very much, and we will see you again on the next one. Cheers.